Oracles of the Bush is a wonderful celebration of Australian storytelling. It involves poetry, storytelling and music by original artists who make their living travelling this country and across the world, telling their stories, singing their songs, writing their poems.
It's one of the prettiest towns on the range, and if you're coming to the festival, there's so much that you can pick and choose. You can go to the breakfasts, you can go to the lunches, there's evening concerts, and there's the competition. And it's just a beautiful town to visit. If you haven't been here, it's at the turning of the season, so all the leaves are changing colour. It's really beautiful.
I think the up and close performance arenas are what is unique about Oracles. The fact that they are in restaurants and often small venues where the performers often don't ever need microphones. They get to talk to their audiences of 40 or 50 or up to 70, I guess, I can perform to without a microphone. And the fact that they also here recognise locals and they have a connection to the local community by inducting each year a legend who, through their community service, through their impact on the community with selfless service, have inspired the committee to recognise them for their efforts in creating a great little community in Tenterfield, and to recognise them as legends, I think makes this a very unique festival each year. The connection between the performances and the community.
You'll get to see bush poets perform and children compete and recite, from the littlest kids right through to year 12, and of course adults of every age.
And it's a really great way to get the kids involved and connected to poetry.
I always like to talk about this festival as being a boutique festival, where you go to cafes, restaurants, out onto properties, into national parks, and you have warm, cosy morning teas, breakfasts, lunches and dinners with the performers. You get to meet them, you get to hear their stories, and how often is it that the audience get to tell their stories along with the performance? And that is why people should come to Oracles. It has become a pilgrimage. A lot of those who came in the early years continue to come. They address me by first name, and I recognise many of them by their first names. And it's a wonderful opportunity to create a campfire atmosphere in a great little country town.
I think my favourite part of Oracles would be catching up with friends, meeting bush poets from all over Australia. It's a really lovely atmosphere. It's a really good little festival.
I think for me the favourite part of coming to the Oracles would be watching the children's competition. I think it's great to see the kids up and having a go. It builds their confidence, and their mums and their dads and their grandparents are there, and they're so proud of them. It's great. I think that's my favourite part.
The favourite part of the Oracles would be the bush poets.
The breakfast this morning out at the national parks.
Well, of course we come for the prose, the poetry, and you're either in the aisles laughing because you've got stitches in your side, or you're in the aisles crying because of the piece of poetry that's been said. But it's the whole ambience of the place, it's the parks, it's the shops. You know, there's so much to see and so much to do.
I just love the poetry. It's been excellent.
Today here at Bald Rock has been absolutely fabulous. To have those beautiful poems written and spoken in this setting, in a bush setting, is just wonderful.
This is the first time I've been to Oracles in the bush.
This is my first time I've been to Oracles of the Bush.
This is my 4th time of coming up to the Oracles of the Bush at Tenterfield.
This is our 21st year.
This is my first time to Oracles of the Bush.
It's a town with heart. It really is a town with heart. The Oracles themselves, they're organised by such a dedicated team, and there's nothing at all you could fault. Why wouldn't you come back?
Oracles is successful, I believe, first and foremost because it is never or has never become bigger than the volunteers who organise it. Those selfless volunteers in the yellow shirts who bounce around welcoming people to each event, who know the performers, who usher them around, make sure that events have great sound systems, that the seating's there, that the food's served. and the performers mingling in that environment with the audience make it a very down-to-earth campfire community atmosphere, and that is what is unique about Tenterfield, and that is where its success lies, that you'll be talking to these local legends who are inducted each year and you'll hear their stories.